Got some new stand-up dates I'm excited to tell you all about. On June 19th, I will be at Vernon Speakeasy. The 21st, I will be at Turtle Mountain Brewing. On the 27th, I will be at Unhinged Brewing. On July 2nd, I will be at Berman and Boots. On July 5th, I will be finally returning to Quezada's Comedy Club and Cantina for the Comedy Battle. On July 11th, I will be in Santa Fe at the Kava Bar. And on July 17th, I will be at Sushi High in Denver, Colorado. All information for these will be on my Instagram. Hope to see you at a show. All right, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Again, doing a live podcast on my own, trying to run this shit by myself. How's it going? Hope your night's going well. Hope y'all can fucking hear me. All right, perfect. Okie dokie. So, night's going pretty well. I just got done about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. Just got done doing a show over at Unhinged. Another great show in Albuquerque that I've been hosting, producing for the last 3 months, I want to say. Yeah, 3 months sounds right. It went really well. Shout out to the guys who went on the show and killed it. Legit. I know people say like, oh, my friends killed it. But legit, everyone did really well. Dave Corvette, Cardo Mad, Jake Otero, he dropped in, did a set. Tyler Lovely, and then our host for the evening was Eddie Stevens. So that was a great time, great show. Eddie did a solid 40 minutes. Very good. Very, very fun to see. So, yeah, thank you to everyone that came out and watched the show. It was a blast seeing the amount of people there. I will say this. So I want to say like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks. No, not 3 weeks ago. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. I was really trying to figure out, like, fuck, man, like, because producing shows, like I said in the last late night episode, I'm really trying to take this shit seriously, really trying to put my best foot forward in everything that I'm doing with the stand-up and with podcasting and so on and so forth. Being as active as I can, being as involved as I can, so on and so forth. And, I was like, I need a mailing list. I have friends that have mailing lists that do really well for them. You hear about really famous comedians that really built their careers off mailing lists. And, so I got to the point where I was like, how am I going to build a mailing list? How am I going to do this? And it dawned on me, oh yeah, stupid. You've been doing a podcast for 4 years, 4.5 years. You have people's emails. You have, this 4-year backlog of emails. Go ahead and use that. So that's exactly what I did, is I poured through my last, because I have a new email address for the podcast, went and poured through that and then did and just built a mailing list off of that. And 2 of the audience members tonight, one of them was a friend of mine. Shout out to Natalie. Thank you very much for coming out. 2 of the audience members were there because of the mailing list. So that's something, That's certainly, it's not nothing. It's a little more than nothing, but, it's something. So I was very happy to have that. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to that show. I am waiting because none of the management was actually at the show. They were all on vacation. But I am waiting for confirmation. We should be doing another show there July 26th. That should be the next show. That will be at, I'm gonna really push for the doors to be at 7:30 and then the show to be at 8:30. Reason for that is, it's the summertime. It's starting to get lighter outside for longer. Sun didn't set tonight till like 8:25, 8:28. So, comedy during the daylight's kind of gay. In my opinion, it's kind of gay. So I'd like to do it because for people who haven't been to Unhinged, basically it's like it's right next to the brewery. They bought the little, it's like a little shopping mall space that they're in, and they bought the building next to it, and so that's like a whole venue space for them we get to use now, which is amazing. Like they have concerts there and they do our comedy shows there, but like at the top there's light that comes in and kind of fucking whack, you know. Hey, what's up? Oh, what's gay? Stand-up comedy during the day, that's what's gay. Oh, they left already, what a shame. Stand-up comedy during the day is gay. It's just, you know, you don't, stand-up comedy is supposed to be at night, preferably as late at night as you can when people aren't, you know, falling asleep yet, but got a couple cocktails, tight, you know, whatever, tight-knit audience. Yeah, exact. See, a fellow, not a fellow, I'm not gay, but a gay person in my chat right now. We are live on Instagram. Won't say it on Instagram because that's weird, but yeah, no, stand-up comedy during the day is whack. So, gonna try to push the start time of the show to 8:30. I'd prefer 9, but I think they close at like 10:30, so I don't want to run too late. So you know, it is what it is. But yeah, great show. Eddie did great. Rest of the lineup did really well. Should be back there July 26th. So that was a lot of fun. And then try to think of some other stuff. Oh, on Tuesday night, this upcoming Tuesday night, I will be at the Block in Rio Rancho. I'll be filling in for AJ. He has to go do some Isotope stuff. I'm not going to say why because he hasn't really announced why he's there yet. So very, very excited for him. Good things. But so I will be filling in at the Block. We have a great lineup so far. I think right now it's going to be me, Josh Fournier, the incredibly funny Josh Fournier. Tyler Lovely's going to be back over there. Hannah Howard. And maybe one other person. I have to look at my phone when it's not going live. But yeah, it'll be a great show. We usually start that about 8:20, 8:30. Again, because it's later at night. You know, really want to not have... Like, it's kind of cool. I will say this. While stand-up comedy during the day, during daylight, is kind of gay, what is cool is because that venue is set up where you have these giant garage doors behind you, you have a great view of the Sandia Mountains. So having that behind you when you're doing stand-up is kind of neat. But, you know, anyway. Yeah, so we'll probably start that around 8:15, 8:30. Be a good little hour, 15-minute show. Real lot of fun up there. A really cool venue. Really cool venue for, like, working on crowd work and trying out some like newer, like kind of like the dirtier material. Because for how conservative Rio Rancho can be, they like the dirty stuff up there. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so we got that show coming up. And then on Wednesday night, I'm going to be over at Bourbon Boots. AJ Matthews throws on that show. It's going to be really great. I think it's going to be like 7 or 8. I don't know. It's in my Instagram, and I'll share the flyer. Maybe be there at 7, grab some drinks, hang out. It's a free show, by the way. So yeah, and then we'll get into Quezadas a little bit later. I want to talk about after I get into some politics. Then we'll talk about Quezadas. That's going to be one of my main points tonight. Good points, by the way. If you know, you know. Good points. But yeah, you know, I do want to give a shout out to Tyler Lovely. Me and him were having a conversation tonight outside of the venue while the show was happening. And, you know, because the show was pretty light in the beginning. Meaning like before we started, we had like hardly anybody there. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go and I'm going to bark. You know what I mean? And basically for people who don't like follow comedy, know what that is. Basically what barking is where you have flyers for your show and you go tell people, hey, we have a stand-up show, blah, blah, blah. And so I went out and did that in the bar that was attached, obviously, and then down the strip mall that we were at, and just trying to get people in. And we managed, I want to say that we had like 15-ish people in there. And for the size of the room, that's pretty good. Like what I like about that room is it's if you get a good like, yeah, I'd say 15 to like 25, even like 30 is pushing it. If you get a good amount of people in there, it basically becomes this little kill box where if you're on fire or you're doing even decently well and other people are doing well around you on your lineup, you just bang, 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 bang. And that's not to say that the show tonight didn't go well, because it did, and the crowd was great. I started off with laughs, ended with laughs. It was great. Tried out some new material that definitely needs work, but it was a good time. But Tyler made a really good point tonight. Was like, even though it was like a lower audience and smaller crowd, it's really cool because there were a few people in there that were on clearly on date night, and it's really cool to be a part of that. These people decided to go out, spend time together, have a date, and then because if you go as a couple, as I've been there, if you go to a bad comedy show, it doesn't put a damper on like your date night per se, but you're kind of like, man, I wish we were doing something else, and that kind of sucks. You never want to be a part of that. So it's really cool, and I'm learning to really appreciate stand-up comedy in a way that isn't selfish, because going into it, I'm kind of just like, fuck, how can I be great? How can I be funny? How can I do my best for myself so I get better and I look good to my peers? I look good to people that could possibly book me, that kind of thing. And I've been thinking about that for a little bit now, what Tyler said, and now with him saying it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's really is about making other people feel good and bringing joy to their lives and that kind of thing. So being able to add to something like a date night, it might sound like a small thing, but it is pretty cool. So I just wanted to shout him out for that, because I was thinking about that on the drive home, and I was eating my Whataburger. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, that's a really cool thing to be a part of. I like that a lot, and yeah, this is a really cool thing. Anyway. Okay, I want to touch a little bit on Zohran getting elected as the governor or the mayor of New York City. And look, I know nothing about New York politics. I know like the bare minimum. I know about as much as anybody else does who like dips their toe in politics. But I just think it's a good case study to look at the state of the Democratic Party. And first of all, I just want to say, like, off the front, like, he clearly ran a great campaign. Like, he started popping up everywhere on social media. He started going viral in a bunch of different places. And what really, the video that stood out to me, and that frankly is the first one that I heard about him from, saw him from rather, was when they were doing the mayoral debate, and they asked all of the candidates, what would be your first out of country travel stop? Like, where would you go first? Which, first of all, is just a dumb question to ask a mayor. And now, look, I'm not ignorant. Like, I understand that, New York City is one of, if not the biggest city in the United States. I think, like, when stacked up against militaries, I think the New York Police Department is in like the top 10. If you were to consider the New York Police Department as a military, they, like, as far as like their numbers go and their financing goes and their equipment goes, they like stack up. You know what I mean? Like, they're in the rankings of the top 10 militaries in the world. So I'm not understating the significance of New York City, but what I am saying is it's a fucking mayor. You know what I mean? It's a hey, what's up, boys on Instagram? What's up, fellas? They're a fucking mayor. And why is a group of mayoral candidates, why are they being asked where you would go to leave, like to visit out of the country? Can anybody explain that to me? And clearly, with their answers, with the answers they gave, it was obviously a do you love Israel test, right? Because you wouldn't ask, like, I guarantee you, if they even do debates for the mayoral candidates in Albuquerque, they're not going to ask them where you going on your first out-of-country visit. Because why would you ask them, right? That's stupid. You wouldn't ask a mayor anywhere that. But of course they're going to ask that because it's the Israel, litmus test of, are you on the team? Are you playing ball? Are you with the group? And, and they basically, All you have to do to find this video is look up New York City mayoral debate, Israel. That's all you have to look up. And basically what happens is they're asking the candidates down the line, and they're all saying they would visit Israel, visit Israel, visit Israel, visit Israel. And it turns to Zohran, and they ask him, and he's like, and he gives the right answer, but it's like the laziest answer you could give in the context of running for mayor. He gives the most basic answer. I'm gonna say lazy, but he gives the most basic answer of, I don't know. I mean, I would go to one of the 5 boroughs and just start there. Where it's kind of like, no shit. Like, that's like if I was running for mayor of Albuquerque and they would ask where I would visit first, if I just wanted to give a generic answer, I would say, I don't know, I'll start with the South Valley, the Northeast Heights. I'd start at the North Valley, the West Side. I don't know. I'll start with one of them and go from there. Now, in the context of running for mayor, it's a very lazy answer. Because so, well, I'll go visit this part of the city because I have such deep ties, or I'm going to go to this part of the city because that's where they're struggling the most, or I'm going to But no, he just says, yeah, I'll pick one of the 5 boroughs and go from there. And then they go to Cuomo, and of course he goes, I'm going to visit Israel, our greatest ally, whatever. And then they go to the next guy, and he goes, I'll go to Israel, and then that will be followed, or following that, I'm going to go to the Ukraine and visit them, and blah, blah. It's just like this canned, blatantly pandering bullshit answer, just absolutely bullshit answer, basically sucking up to the war machine and the system, the deep state, but sucking up to those people. And it turns back to Zohran because they're now attacking him, and they're saying like, like Cuomo's like, yeah, he won't, because the moderator jumped in first. Actually, the moderator jumps in and goes, basically asks him like, why won't you say Israel, or why wouldn't you visit Israel? And he says again like a very basic, real answer, and just goes, yeah, I'm visiting them. They're a great nation. They have the right to exist, or whatever it is. But I'm just more concerned about New York. And then the moderator jumps in and goes, but you don't recognize them as a Jewish state, or like it's a Jewish nation. And he's trying to be like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm concerned about New York. But Cuomo jumps in and goes, yeah, he won't say that they deserve to be a Jewish nation, or deserve to exist, or blah, blah, blah. And it basically turns into this between like Cuomo, a couple of the other mayoral candidates, and then the moderators. It turns into this bullshit like, I love Israel more than you do. My dad's tougher than your dad. My dad can beat up your dad kind of conversation. And it makes absolutely no fucking sense. I don't understand why that's a thing. Nobody can explain it to me properly. And I just, like, why is that even a question? Like, I could see that being a presidential question where it's like, hey, if elected president, what ally are you going to visit first? Like, I mean, I guess, but shouldn't you be focusing on the constituency, or on the country that your constituency lives in? I don't know. It's very strange to me. And then, so obviously, as we all know, Zohran wins, right? He wins the mayoral election. And people in the Democratic Party, it's funny because the Republicans tend to have this right, even though they hate him vehemently. They fucking hate this guy to the level of just xenophobic racism, hatred, like genuine racism. And I'll bring up examples here in a second that you can easily Google. I don't like throwing those terms around willy-nilly because I think they've lost meaning, but here they really apply. But But I think the Republicans have this right more than the Democrats do. Because the Democrats, from what I've seen, especially the establishment Democrats, like, oh, why did he win? How did we lose? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, how did you lose? You have the front runner of this debate, or this mayoral race, was Cuomo, who has been littered with scandals, littered with sexual harassment cases, damn near killed old people in the old folks' homes during COVID, bunch of dirt, and people, the citizens of New York see him as establishment. And if there's one thing that I think everyone can agree on as far as where do the left and the right, the majority of their voter base, like where do they meet in the middle on? It's the fact that they're done with the establishment, and they're done with getting fucked over, and they're done with getting thrown to the wayside when all of our money is getting spent on foreign nations, when all of our money is getting spent on immigrants. Well, I mean, the Democrats kind of love that, but you see my point, right? Is the working class of America is kind of done being thrown to the wayside. And so when you have an establishment guy like Cuomo that has all these things attached to him, talking about how he loves Israel, and I saw some of his major running points, and they're fucking escaping me right now when they matter most, of course. But he was basically going to keep things the way they are in New York. And when you have a guy like Zohran that's saying, like, yeah, I'm going to visit one of the 5 boroughs and work through all of them. I'm going to meet my Jewish voters and my Jewish constituencies in their synagogues and in their wherever they meet, and to talk to them there. And then, you know, I'm going to freeze rent. I'm going to make buses free. I'm going to do state-supported grocery stores for food to be affordable. And I'm going to, you know, put the taxes on the rich people and all these things that are classic. Granted, he's an outspoken, and I got to be honest, and a lot of my Republican friends really get mad at me for saying this, but I kind of respect the guy for just being open and honest about his views, about how he is how he's a socialist, a Democrat socialist, but a socialist, like an outspoken socialist. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with him being a social. I just lost a few viewers just saying that I agree with him. There you go, right? I just lost a couple who just jumped off the live stream. But, like, I respect the fact that he's at least open about his views. He's not trying to hide it like the rest of these jackasses. But, and again, I don't agree with any of the shit that he's saying for the most part. Really at all. But, you know, you have a guy out here saying, I care about Americans, I care about the New York City citizens, and I want them to succeed, and I'm going to be fighting for them. Of course you're going to lose the fucking race. Like, I was saying this back in November when Trump won. And I think I said this on a couple of podcasts beforehand, too, the pre-recorded ones, where, you know, you have a candidate in Kamala Harris who's representing the Democratic Party, and she's basically saying that they're going to keep funding Israel and they're keep going to funding the Ukrainian war, when a big part of the constituency supports Ukraine but wants the war to end. But all of them oppose what Israel's doing in Gaza, and I stand right alongside them. I hate what Israel's doing in Gaza. I think anybody with a working brain hates what they're doing with Gaza. I really think they do. But when you're running the candidate that supports funding that outright, like it started under that party, of course it's going to fall apart. Like, no shit. And I think this is just another example of that, where the Democratic Party has completely forsaken and completely gotten rid of caring about what their constituency wants. And this is what you get. You get a guy that has borderline anti-American views as far as how to run a city, let alone one of the major metropolitan cities in the country. You get a guy with those views, but because he said the talking points that speak to the voter base, you're gonna lose. Just like Kamala Harris did, just like Cuomo did. These establishment people are getting ringed out. And look, state-supported grocery stores are not a good idea. I personally, I think the government basically turning our country into a welfare state is not a good thing. It can't be a good thing. Socialism doesn't work. It hasn't worked. But we'll see. I mean, I think this is a really important time in America's history because now we're seeing in the modern age a major, one of, if not the biggest major metropolitan centers being ran by an outspoken socialist who has major support from the Democratic Party, AOC, the squad, whatever, supported him. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously this guy can't run for president down the line because he isn't a naturally born citizen, but he is going to be a part of the Democratic Party for a long time. So he's going to be in government for a while. So it'll be interesting to see what New York turns into and how it turns out. Not just the short-term effects, but the long-term effects and what all that turns into. So we'll see. I don't know, man. I'm not smart enough to really break it down further than that. I'm not. And if you're going to me for your political views and like, I'm just going to tell you what I know. And I'm just going to tell you what I think. I'm just going to tell you the truth as I know it. I'm not going to lie to you. I have no interest in lying to you guys. But this is how I see it. And it's just going to be interesting. Hey, what's up, Evan? Love you, buddy. Love you very much. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Just a quick sidebar on coming to me for your political stuff. So a couple of people hit me up recently about somebody, oh, not somebody, I'll just say it. The mayoral candidate that I had on the podcast. I'm going to go live on my other Instagram now. Let's see. Oh my God, I can't spell. It's 12:30 at night. I can't spell. Live podcast. So one of the candidates that I had on the podcast, her name is Alpana Adair. Apparently she was not thrilled with my views on Iran. And to that I say, oh fucking well. You know, oh well. And then if you want to go through, like on that live episode I did last week about 28 years later and Iran, and then if you want to go on her episode and look at the comments section, it's literally just her having these insane conversations with herself, and she's writing these stupid reviews. Hey, fucking, what's up, dude? Fucking We Are the Empty. What's up, buddy? I still listen to your music. It's great stuff. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. But you know, she started out writing these just like insane comments about me as if it was like in a blog or something, like, these podcasts are not for cocktails. They are for deep consideration or some shit like that. And I'm like, yo, if you think my fucking podcast isn't for cocktails, you're insane. And if you think my podcast is the most professional thing around, then I don't know what to tell you. I think you're stupid, genuinely. Like, I can be professional. It depends on the guest. If it's in the middle of the night and I'm talking into a microphone, into the void, yeah, I'm probably going to talk some shit. You've been in my studio. You've seen all the nerdy shit around me. Of course I'm going to talk about politics and then pop culture, because it's what I enjoy. She like made this really stupid comment about he goes on tangents about zombies. And it's like, yeah, I started out the podcast talking about Iran, and then I started talking about 28 years later. You know what I mean? Like, how stupid can you be? And then, like, look, she didn't make the ticket, and it's unfortunate for her. I think she did have some good points. I think she did have some decent ideas. But just the unhinged writing. So to everybody asking me about it, I don't know. I don't know what compelled her to do that. I don't know what inspired that clear, unhinged rambling, but what the fuck are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do? All right, let's get off politics. We're half an hour into this podcast. Oh, I'm kind of late to the party, but I saw the new Final Destination a couple nights ago, last night, and that was probably one of the most stupid movies I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to go into detail about it because it didn't really deserve it. Now, granted, I will say this: I didn't go into it with high expectations. I didn't go into it expecting high art, because why would you? You know, why would you go into that movie expecting anything? I just wanted cool deaths and, you know, wild, wacky things to happen. And I got it. You know, I got exactly what I asked for, but just like the story and the acting surrounding it was so bad that I was just like rooting for these people to die. I was like, please die. I can't wait for you all to die. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, fun movie. You should go watch it like on like a streaming service. Like it's a good like kick back a couple beers with your bros and check it out. But yeah, fun movie. Go check that out. All right, I'm gonna run the chili ad so that I can get a little sponsorship money, and then we're gonna get into some Quezada's Comedy Club stuff. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chopped Chili. Guys, this is personally my favorite chili brand here in the state of New Mexico, and you can find them online at choppedchilico.com. You can also find them all across the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Smith's, and a bunch of other stores in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Cruces. I believe they're even down in El Paso now. They sell red and green chili, of course. My personal favorite is this blend of red and green, and they also sell online frozen bags of green chili. So again, go to choppedchilico.com to get yourself some amazing chili today. Now back to the podcast. This episode. Okie dokie, we are back. So let's get into some Quezada's Comedy Club. So here's the deal. This weekend on July 4th and 5th, there's going to be a all local show at Quezada's Comedy Club and Cantina up in Bernalillo, about 25 minutes north of Albuquerque. I gotta say, you know, on the outset, it's a really big thing for a comedy club to be doing local shows, like an all local show. Like it's a really big thing. So huge shout out to Quezada's Comedy Club for putting on the locals and for giving us opportunities to be on a real stage like that. Outside of the battle, just, you know, they put locals on to as many like big name headliners that they have coming through as they can. I'm not going to say what names, but I have been speaking with the booker about potentially opening and hosting for a couple of really big names, like really big names that are coming through towards the end of the year. So really hopeful that happens. Really, really hopeful, because that would be crazy to have that experience. And to watch just watch those guys work, you know, in person. Big fan of these two guys I might be hosting for. Big fans of them for a while. So it'd be really cool to see that and have that experience and work with them. So that'd be cool. But it's a really big thing for a comedy club to be doing that. So my night is going to be July 5th. The show starts at 7. Doors are at 6. So if you're going to go, please go. I would get there. I would be like at the building at like 5:45-ish, 5:40. They've been telling me the tickets are moving pretty well for it. I sold out. So they gave us all like 12 comp tickets, like 12 free tickets to sell out to people. And mine sold out like when I actually started pushing them out and like asking who wants them. Without even posting it on my story or posting it on my anything, my tickets sold out in like 45 minutes. So if you're watching this, thank you. Seriously. I know I've told you all this personally, and I'm not going to stop saying thank you until that show, obviously. But thank you for getting those tickets for me. It makes me look good that I was able to push all of my tickets, but I'm just happy to see all you guys there. I really am. Some of my closest friends are coming to that show. I'm very excited. I'm hoping I can do as well as I can for you. But if you haven't gotten tickets yet and you're still interested, go to my Instagram. It's going to be there, or go to quezadas.com. They have the tickets there. It's just a comedy battle. July 5th. July 5th. That's Saturday. That is my night. So come out, come see the show. It's going to be a great time. There are some legitimately amazing comedians. Hey, what's up, Megan? How you doing? There are some legitimately amazing comedians on that show. Namely fucking Kurt Fletcher, Tyler Lovely, Josh Fournier, Isabel Madley. Some really great comics are on that show that I'm going against. So I'm very excited to see them do their thing and to see us all on that stage. It's going to be awesome. So basically the way the show is going to be formatted is there's going to be 3 rounds and there's 8 comics. And so it's like an elimination style, like bracket kind of thing. So we're all going to do 2 minutes. Then you guys vote. Then it's going to go to a 5-minute round, vote, and the last 2 are going to go to a 10-minute round. I'm very interested. I mean, obviously I want to go to the 10 minutes, but I'm very interested to see how this works out because I've never, like, what I've been struggling with personally is like, how is my set laid out? Like, what jokes go into where? I'm breaking up my set into ways I've never done it before. Like, I've never had my set outlined like this. All my jokes are kind of disjointed, not disjointed, but they don't make sense going together. But like, for me, they're like the natural flow of my jokes are disjointed right now. But I will say this, when I did Unhinged tonight, with the exception of one joke at the end, I did my 10-minute set that I'm going to do at Quezadas, should I make it to that round, and the set went well. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very excited that that worked pretty well together, flowing together. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, very excited to do the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come out and see that. Like I said, tickets are moving pretty well at the moment. So come check that out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover tonight. I didn't really plan tonight's episode. Last week I was pretty prepared. But I don't know if I had anything else really planned for tonight. I'm trying to think. I think that's really it. Quick little 40-minute episode. I hope you guys that watched this enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing this every Saturday night, late night, as long as I can, as long as I'm available to. I'm going to try to do them at 11:30, because that's generally when I'm home and when I'm done with shows and everything. So yeah, please come out and watch me at Quezadas. I will put the ticket link actually in the bio, or the information description portion of this episode. So please go check that out, get tickets. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'd like to see it sell out, to be honest with you. Obviously, like, I'd love to see that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'd love to see that sell out. And then if you want to get on my email list, DM me and I'll put you on the email list. Going forward on these episodes, I'll put my QR code up so you guys can scan it and you can get on my email list, see what shows are coming up next. Like I said, I have The Block Tuesday night. I have Bourbon and Boots Wednesday night, Quezadas Saturday night, and then on the 11th, I want to say. Let me see. Oh, my eyesight sucks. Yeah, on the 11th, I'll be up in Santa Fe at the Kava Bar, and then on the 17th, I will be over at I'll be in Denver on the 17th of next month doing the Sushi High show. I'm very excited for that. Shout out to Katie Bowman, who would come in to Albuquerque over at Safe House. Booked me on that show. I'm very excited. But yeah, come see me at a show. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm getting a lot better. Getting a lot better at this whole stand-up thing. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you all for listening and watching. It's late as shit. It's almost 1 a.m. Thank you guys very much. I'm not going to number these episodes because I want like the actual pre-recorded episodes to be like the numbered ones. I know I numbered the last one, but I'm not going to do that again. So these will just be like live episodes that'll drop in, have some fun, have a drink, hang out. I'm going to try to find a way, if this grows and there's people like watching more consistently, I'm going to try to set up like a Google number or set up something for you guys to call in. That'd be kind of cool. I kind of want to set this up like late night radio, late night AM talking crazy shit, talking conspiracies, weird shit that I used to listen to late night back in the day. So yeah. Thank you all for listening and watching. Again, I'll get that QR code up for the next episode, and then I'll probably get that fucking that Google number up too if this kind of gains traction. Cool. All right. Thank you guys very much, and talk to you next time. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you like what you've seen here, please share it with as many people as possible. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help out the podcast. And if you're feeling extra generous, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon, which I have coming soon.